good evening. We are back to the study of the Spirit's book. We are on the item on chapter 9 on guardian angels, protective, familiar, and sympathetic spirits. We started last week. We stopped before question 495, when we are going to read dissertation by St. Augustine and St. Louis. Okay, so Philip, can you read for us 495?
Yes. Do protective spirits ever abandon their charges when the latter continuously ignore their guidance? The spirits withdraw from their charges when they see that their guidance is fruitless and their charges are stubbornly determined to yield to the influence of inferior spirits. However, they are never entirely abandoned, and the spirits continue to make themselves heard. Their wards are the ones who shut their ears. As soon as incarnates call them back, the spirits return. If there is any theory that could win over the biggest skeptics by its charm and beauty, it is that of guardian angels. To think that you always have a superior being by your side, ready to guide you, support you, and help boost you in climbing the mountain of self-betterment, whose friendship is more devoted than the most intimate union that you can make on earth, is a source of great solace. These beings are there at God's orders. It was God who has placed them at your side. They are there out of their love for God, and they fulfill an honorable but painstaking mission. Wherever you go, prison, solitude, the leper's house, or even the lowest haunts and taverns, they are by your side. Nothing ever separates you from your invisible friend, whose presence you cannot see, from whom your soul receives the gentlest impulsions, and hears the wisest counsels. If only you fully grasp this truth, it would help you in your moments of need and save you from the traps of malicious spirits. But how many times on the great day, this angel of goodness will have to say to you, "Did I not warn you? Yet you would not follow my lead. Did I not show you the abyss, and you insisted on throwing yourself into it? Did I not speak the truth to your conscience, and you followed devious suggestions? Communicate with your guardian angels and establish the affectionate intimacy that exists between loyal friends. Do not try to hide anything from them. Do not think of hiding anything from them, because they are God's eyes. Think of the future and try to advance upward. This will shorten your trials and make your lives happier. Come, take heart. Cast away all preconceived notions and reservations, and boldly travel the new road that opens before you. Go forth, you have guides. All you have to do is follow them. Your goal cannot fail you, for your goal is God. To those who find it impossible to believe that high spirits would commit to such a grueling task requiring infinite patience, we respond that these spirits influence your souls from afar. Space is nothing to us, and our spirits can be connected to yours from worlds away. We possess qualities that you cannot fathom, and rest assured that God has not given us a task that is beyond our strength. God has not abandoned you on earth without friends and support. All guardian angels have their wards, over whom they watch like parents watch over their children. They are elated when they see them following the right road, and saddened when their guidance is ignored. Do not be afraid to ask us questions. Always remain connected to us, as it will make you stronger and happier. This communication between human beings and their familiar spirits will eventually make everyone mediums, mediums ignored today, but who will show themselves later, spreading out like an ocean without shores to sweep away disbelief and ignorance. Those who have received instruction must in turn educate others. Those who are talented must raise their brothers and sisters. You cannot even comprehend what good you accomplish by doing so. The work imposed on you by God is work of Christ. Why has God given you intelligence and knowledge if you were not meant to share it with your brothers and sisters to help them on the road leading to eternal happiness? St. Louis, St. Augustine. The concept of guardian angels watching over us, despite the distance between worlds, is as natural as it is grand and sublime. Do parents not watch over their children through the wise suggestions in letters when distance separates them? Why should you be surprised that spirits guide their charges from one world to another? Don't they have the universal fluid that binds all the worlds together and unite them in solidarity, an immense vehicle for transmitting thought, just as air is the vehicle for sound?
Thanks. So this beautiful message from St. Louis and St. Augustine originally appeared in the Spiritist Review of 1859, if I'm not mistaken, January 1859. So if you remember, the first edition of the Spirit's book had only 520 questions, if I'm not mistaken, 500 and something. And the third edition, which is the final edition that Kardec published, was the final version, or the version that is used mostly for translations and for study groups, was published later with 1,019 questions. So this question clearly was added by Kardec on the later versions of the Spirit's book, on the second or third edition. So this is a message received. It's a combination of messages received by both St. Louis and St. Augustine. St. Louis was Louis IX, the King of France, and the protecting guide of Spiritism. There are many answers by St. Louis in different books of Spiritism, the Gospel, the Medium's Book, and so on. So the question is, if the guardian angels, the protective spirits, abandon the ones that they are taking care of. And the answer is they don't abandon. They can just move away temporarily when they see that their guidance is of no use. So when we close ourselves to the guidance of our spiritual benefactors, our guardian angels, of course, they are not going to be sitting somewhere and waiting for us to decide to listen to them. They live their lives. They're busy. Of course, being a more evolved spirit than we are, we don't fully understand all the obligations they have, but they are available to us at all times when we need them. So they will be connected to us when we open ourselves to listen to their guidance and assistance. So as they say here, they are never entirely abandoned, and spirits continue to make themselves heard. And they go a little bit further, saying that wherever we are, in prison, in solitude, in the lowest haunts and taverns, they will be by our side when we need them. Nothing can separate us from our spiritual guides, whose presence we cannot see, but they are always available to us. Okay? And they also gives us the advice of not trying to hide from them, because we cannot hide. They can read our thoughts. They can see what we think. And they talked a little bit about the distance, right? There are no distances from more evolved spirits. They will be connected to us whenever we need them. So they will be there in space, but as they explain here, the communication is done via the universal fluid. So the same way, of course, at the time of Kardec was less clear, but the same way nowadays we have television, we have all these the phones that connect us from very long distances. Of course, this is all something that comes from the spiritual world. What we have here is always a bad copy of the spiritual world. So the communication between us and our guardian angels can be made at all times and from anywhere they are. Because as we studied recently, the thought travels at the speed of the thought. It's immediate. I think of something, my thought is there. So our guardian angels will think of them, they will be with us immediately, regardless of where they are. And then Kardec concludes by talking a little bit, comparing to parents that, take care of their children, even if children are away from them, traveling. At the time of Kardec, through letters. Nowadays, through text messages or through phone conversations or other means of communications, right? So if parents are always concerned about their children and ready to help them in the majority of cases, a protective spirit, a more evolved spirit, more reason to believe that they will be close to us and at our disposal at all times. Okay? Questions, comments here? Okay, Philip, next.
496. If spirits abandon their charges and no longer help them, can they harm them? Good spirits never cause harm to anyone. They leave that to inferior spirits. You then accuse fate of the bad luck or troubles that plague you, but they are the result of your own bad behavior.
Again, spirits, they don't abandon the ones that they're responsible. They cannot help them if they don't want to be helped. Something that we always stress here, right? We know this here in our physical life. You cannot help someone that does not want to be helped. You can try, but eventually they are going to reject your help if they don't want to be helped. So this is the same thing with the spirits that are around us. If we close ourselves to them, they won't be able to help us. But it doesn't mean that they're going to harm us, because, of course, more evolved spirits are never going to harm anyone. They never cause harm to anyone. But when we close our door to the good spirits, we open the door for the inferior spirits that are those that can cause harm to us, that can influence us negatively and make us make wrong choices on our path, or may influence us, again, always according to our inclinations, because even an evil spirit cannot force you to do something that is not part of you. If you don't have an imperfection that they can use against, we don't have an imperfection they can use against us, they won't be able to do anything. It's just that we, as imperfect spirits, we have several imperfections that they are going to use against us to cause us harm. But always inferior spirits, never good spirits. Good spirits are always trying to help us and protect us. Okay?
497.
Yeah.
Can protective spirits leave their charges at the mercy of spirits wanting to do them harm? Wicked spirits band together to counteract the good, but if wards would so desire, they could restore all the power to the protective spirit. While waiting for the return of their charges, protective spirits may find other individuals whose kindness and openness make it easy to help them.
Okay, so again, a continuation of the same theme. Our protective spirits will never leave us at the mercy of inferior spirits unless we ourselves open, according to lower our vibrations and open the doors to the inferior spirits. But it's upon us to reconnect with the superior spirits. If we change our vibrations, we elevate our vibrations, we are going to reconnect with our protective spirits, and they will be there to protect us. Again, the spirits that are protecting us, as they say here, they may find other individuals whose kindness and openness make it easy to help them. Again, we are not exclusive, right? Of course, we have one guardian angel that is responsible for us, that is going to take care of us at all times. But even this guardian angel, it's not exclusive, doesn't prevent him or her to help those in need, not as a guardian angel necessarily, but as a protective spirit. The same way that a parent that has more than one child will help all their children. The protective spirits will be able to help more than one at the same time. And if one needs more help than others, they'll focus on those that need more help. Okay.
498.
Yeah.
When protective spirits allow their wards to go astray, is it because they are unable to manage the malicious spirits who mislead them? No, it is not because they can't, but because they choose not to. Their wards will become wiser and better through the trials they have chosen for themselves. Protective spirits assist their wards through the wise guidance they provide. However, unfortunately, sometimes they are ignored. The weakness, carelessness, or pride of humans is what gives strength to bad spirits. Their power over you comes solely from your lack of willpower to provide enough resistance to their action.
Okay. So, we are connected with some spirits from our past, some spirits that we need to work reparations on both sides. Can be on our families, can be with our friends, can be with in our workplace. So some of them are part of our necessity to learn, to overcome our imperfections, to educate ourselves. And our protective spirits, our guardian angel, they know what we need to go through. They know the experiences we have to go through that will be useful for us, right? So thinking about parents and children, overprotective parents end up causing more harm than good for their children, because they don't allow children to learn to defend themselves in the physical world. Of course, superior spirits, they are not overprotective. They know exactly what we need and what they are supposed to do. So some of the trials that we have to go through are expiations. They will allow things to happen because it's better for us. But for us to receive continuous assistance, we need to be open for that assistance to be there. When we allow our vibrations to to go lower and we connect to inferior spirits is when they are going to also try to influence us on the negative aspects, trying to prevent us from evolving, trying to make us make mistakes and make our lives more difficult. It can be either because they don't want us to evolve, because they, if we evolve, they have to evolve themselves, or because they harbor some desire of revenge or anger towards us, and they want to cause us difficulties. They want to make our life difficult. Okay.
499. Do protective spirits always accompany their charges? Are there any circumstances under which they may lose sight of them without completely abandoning them? There are circumstances under which the presence of the protective spirit is not necessary.
What do they mean here? Again, it's not our protective spirits, we are not exclusive to them. If we are doing our work in the right way, if we are responsible, working correctly on our lives and making the necessary progress, they can move away from us temporarily, always being available and connected to us, but their presence may not be necessary. Again, do parents need to be 24/7 in the presence of their children? In the beginning of their life, yes, but as they grow, parents will have to let them go, have to let them live their lives, make their own choices, even if they're their wrong choices, maybe to learn, to evolve. So if we think of our protective spirits, they also will be trying to help and assist us when we need. But if we're doing our job in the right way and we are in no need of them, they can separate themselves from us without ever abandoning us. Okay.
$500. Do spirits ever reach a point where they no longer need a guardian angel? Yes, when they are able to guide themselves in the same manner that students reach a point where they no longer need a teacher. However, this does not take place on Earth.
Oh, there will be a point on our evolutionary path that we will no longer need a guardian angel. We will have evolved enough. It doesn't say that we need to be a pure spirit here. It just says that it reaches a point where we no longer need a guardian angel. We evolved enough to continue by ourselves. But as the spirits stay here, this does not take place on Earth. So all spirits incarnated on Earth have a guardian angel. All spirits that are around Earth, in the spiritual world around Earth, have also a guardian angel, protecting spirit. But you can, if you think of, for instance, Jesus as a perfect spirit, a pure spirit, right? It's the type of spirit that the connection is direct with God. So it doesn't need a guardian angel because it already reached perfection or the level of a pure spirit. Likely before that, in the evolution of spirits, it will be a point that we no longer need a guardian angel, but they don't specify where, and so we don't know exactly where it is. But if it was only when we become pure spirits, they would have said here, because they didn't. My conclusion is that there will be a point in our evolution that we will no longer need a guardian angel, but before being a pure spirit. Okay.
501. Why is the role that spirits have in our lives covert? Why do they not openly protect and guide us? If you counted on their support, you would not act on your own accord, which would cause your spirit to remain stationary. All human beings need to acquire experience, often at their own expense, in order to advance. They need to exercise their own power, otherwise they remain stunted, like a child who is not allowed to walk alone. The action of spirits is regulated so that your free will is maintained without responsibility. You would not advance on the road leading to God. Human beings put forth their own strength because they do not see their invisible support. Their guides continue to watch over them and call out to them to warn them of danger when necessary.
The reality here is that our level of evolution as imperfect spirits, if we had someone to do, we are lazy. So if we had someone to do our job for us, we will gladly allow them to do their job, our job for us. So if we knew we had a guardian angel trying to guide and direct us, we would most likely allow them to do the work for us, to choose, to make the choices for us, we would live under their complete guidance if we, without making any effort. And we need to evolve. And in order to evolve, we need to make our own choices. And we need to make our own choices according to our own free will. So in that way, of course, this is the natural law, God's law that is perfect. It is necessary for us not to be aware of their presence, not to many times to understand when it's our choice or it's their inspiration that is guiding us. It becomes our responsibility, and it becomes also the consequences of it becomes our own merit or our own responsibility. This is just, for us, it's only important to know that they are there, they will be helping us, they will be inspiring us. We need to try to listen to them, to listen to our own, how can we listen to them? By entering into a state of elevated thoughts and vibrations that their own thoughts will mix with our thoughts, and with that we will be guided when we need. So if we ask them to help and assist us through a prayer, they will be there to help and assist us if we just listen to them. Okay?
502.
The second.
Can we also pray for guardian angels from someone else?
Of course, we can pray for anyone, right? So let's say you think your son needs help and assistance, and yes, and you pray that you pray for him and you pray for his guardian angel to help and assist him. Prayer is never lost; is always useful. Is always useful. Yeah. Anna.
Hi, João. Hi, everyone. João, we see that in every question you reemphasize how they're always there to assist us, or they're always going to be there, or they can always come to assist us. What can we say when people say, where were they when such a thing happened? Or where was my guiding spirit? Where was God? And why do certain things happen to children, for example, when they typically is when people question where was our guardian angel? What can we say to people when they ask such questions?
Yeah, it's a good question, Anna, and it's hard to answer when people don't have an understanding of us as eternal spirits, right? I was listening this week to a Q&A session, and there was a lady that asked a question, that she works in a hospital and that she sees these babies that are born and suffer during 2-3 months and then die. What's the purpose of that, right? And the answer was, if you don't understand us as eternal spirits with the issues that we have to deal, it's very difficult to answer the question. So sometimes you're just saying that your guardian angel was there, but that was what was necessary for us. It's not an answer that is going to make anyone happy, right? Our guardian angel, our protecting spirits, are always there. But it is difficult for us to put in perspective some cases that are shocking, right? Someone that loses a child, someone that is involved in a serious accident and gets seriously injured for life. So how can you explain? I think it's in these cases is more a matter of consoling than explaining, right? Because most these people, they're not ready to listen to an explanation. They are looking for reasons to blame someone or to complain. And sometimes all we can do is listen, right? And pray for them, because I don't think there is, in some cases, and especially for people that do not understand, accept, or believe in us as eternal spirits, it'll be very hard to give any satisfactory explanation to them, right? I don't know, Elmo, if you have any.
I think we need to measure what you're going to say and the circumstances at that moment. Now, you're right. There's a time in which all you can do is offer consolation and hope. No time to explain anything. When in the moment of a crisis, it's not really a time. This individual is not seeking real understanding. Is asking for consolation and support. But at a moment, or perhaps farther on, then you can expand on an explanation, something more to illuminate more than be just a consolation. And then comes our biggest problem is the concept of assistance, the concept of need, the concept of our want. What is assistance? What's help? Is to remove the weight of my shoulders, or provide me support to deal with that weight, to move on and carry my cross that I put on my shoulder, or take that cross off my shoulder and set me free. Most of us understand assistance and help is take this problem away from me and just let me be happy. That's not what you come here for. But again, at the moment of crisis, you're not going to give the explanation to anyone. You're just going to create more rebelliousness. So there is a time that you can expand the explanation. Then I think is to address the concept of what is help, what is assistance. Do you want them just to take all the problems away from you and let you be happy and come here after this vacation resort? No, this is not a vacation resort. It's a place of work, of hard learning. And the assistance is help us to profit as much as we can of those hardships that we need to face in order to improve.
Yeah, and we have to be careful also on what we say. I learned through experience that a phrase, everything happens for a reason, is not a very good phrase to in many cases, because people do not want to hear that. We know in Spiritism that everything happens for a reason, because that everything is a cause and consequence. But you cannot say that to someone that has just faced a very serious event in their lives. You're going to say everything happens for a reason, they are going to turn away from it. So it is hard. Sometimes, you know, a shoulder to cry is all you can offer. And listen to them and not try to, you know, there is, I was watching a lecture of someone's lecture that I was, and she said something very interesting, that she said, sometimes when I'm complaining, I don't want you to come and give me a solution. I just want you to give me a shoulder to let me complain. And we have a tendency to try to give solutions for other people's problems. And sometimes they're not interested in listening to solutions. They're interested in us consoling them. So, but again, it's difficult for us to know what and when, right? What we can do is, you know, follow our hearts, try to be helpful in any way possible. Sometimes just you know, let me know what you need, and I will try to help you, because that doesn't offend anyone, right? Maybe we can say that, something like that. Okay.
502. When guardian angels succeed in leading their charges down the right path, do they gain any benefit for themselves? It is an admirable task, which is credited to them for their advancement or happiness. They celebrate when they are successful and feel a sense of triumph in the same way that teachers are elated at the success of their students. Are they responsible for their wards if their wards do not succeed? No, since they have done everything that they could.
Okay, so again, we are all evolving, right? The law is of progress. So when a guardian angel is taking care of someone, it is also working on their own progress, because by taking care, they are learning something. They are learning from how to take care of someone. It's not that they are going to make mistakes, because they are responsible for individuals. They are more evolved than these individuals, so they are prepared to deal with everything that comes this individual's way, and they know how to solve, to address the issues. But in doing that, they are also learning, they are also evolving. And from an individual guardian angel, we know that we have guardian angels for families, for cities, for states, for countries, for, you know, or you reach the level of Jesus, who is responsible for planet Earth. Jesus is no guardian angel of any individual. He's guardian angel of our planet. So it's always evolving, right? And they are, if we fail, it's not their responsibility, it's ours. They always do the best that they can, everything that is possible to help and assist us. So if we fail completely, it's not their responsibility, it's ours.
Well, I connect this question to the 583 about the parents and the kids, like, when they go to the path that's not the right path. The parents that have done everything that they could, they are not responsible for their kids. I connect those two.
Yes, that's true. Also in the gospel, you find that also, right? That the responsibility of the parents, and but doesn't prevent the parents from feeling guilty anyways, right?
Yeah, in this case, yes. So the guardian angels, because they're more evolved, they don't feel guilty, but.
And the difference is here, we have a shorter vision of, we think of the present life, and the guardian angels, they have a vision of us as eternal spirits.
It's a big picture.
So they see the big picture. They know that our mistakes, even the worst mistakes we made, are only temporary mistakes that will be amended eventually, right? So they may feel sad, they may feel, I don't know if frustrated is the term, but they know that they know better. They know that in the big picture, it's just a temporary setback, right?
Yeah. Even if our kind of mistake or our guilty is like for us to learn how not to be guilty in the
Yeah.
future.
Which is not easy.
503. Do protective spirits get upset when their wards proceed down the wrong road? Does it upset their own happiness? They are saddened by the errors of their wards and feel pity for them, but they do not experience the anguish of human parents because they know that if the wrongs committed by their wards are not remedied today, they will be tomorrow.
That's what we just discussed,
Yeah.
right? We just talked about that. So, they don't get upset. They may get sad, but they know, they see the big picture.
504. Can we know the names of our protective spirits or guardian angels? How can you know their names if you have if they have no existence for you? Is it not possible that there are spirits whom you do not know of? But how can we call them if we do not know who they are? Give them any name you wish, that of any superior spirit with whom you identify and respect. Your guardian angel will answer this call because all good spirits are brothers and sisters who are always ready to assist one another.
So, some things here. Definition of a guardian angel is a protective spirit that is with us before our incarnation, during our whole incarnation, and after our incarnation, and sometimes more than one incarnation. So, if in this existence, they were not incarnated, we have no knowledge of their name on this existence because they were not here. Of course, we probably know them by some name in the spiritual world before we incarnated, if it's someone that we know. And again, a guardian angel can be a spirit, as they say here, spirit whom you do not know of. So a spirit that is assigned to us, but we don't know personally. It's just the work of this spirit to be our guardian angel. And in terms of calling them, again, they will connect to us through thought. It's not through words. So if we want to call them Joe or whatever we want to call him or her, we can call whatever we want. They will come and they will listen to us and they will come to help us. Will we know their name one day? Very likely. When we go back to the spiritual world, maybe this time, maybe in the future, we will meet our guardian angel. And again, a guardian angel can be with us for more than one incarnation, or maybe we'll have a new guardian angel for our next incarnation if we evolve enough, or they have other jobs to do. So, but yes, eventually we'll know them, but it's not important. The important thing is that we have one, and we can pray, ask for their assistance, calling them whatever we want to call them. Maybe only guardian angel, or my protective spirit, my Socrates used to call his protecting spirit demon, right? So again, it was not the word demon that we know today, but at the time was a spirit that Socrates used to call his protecting spirit demon. So again, any name works. They will not get offended. You can be sure of that.
505. Are the guardian angels who assume well-known names always the individuals who had those names? No, but they are like-minded spirits and are often sent by their command. You require names, so they assume a name that will inspire you with confidence. When you are unable to execute a command in person, you send someone on your behalf.
Okay, so if we think a couple of guardian angels that we know well, right? Joana de Angelis, the protective spirit of Divaldo Franco, and Emmanuel, the protective spirit of Chico Xavier. We read 4 books about Emmanuel, talking about his previous incarnations with different names. None of these were Emmanuel. We know that he incarnated also as one of the founders of the city of São Paulo. He was a priest, a Jesuit priest in São Paulo called Manuel, which is not Emmanuel. So they will assume the name that they want for some reason when they present themselves. Joana de Angelis took us some time to present herself to Divaldo, and eventually she did present herself with her name. But she was not called Joana de Angelis in the incarnations that we know of her. She was called Joan of Cusa in the times of Jesus. She was called Claire in the time of Francis of Assisi. She was called Juan Inés de la Cruz in Mexico. Always around Joanna, right?
Yeah, it goes around that.
Yeah, so that's except with Claire, right? So that's probably why she chose. But again, our names, each incarnation, we have a different name. You have one name now. In your previous incarnation, you had a different name. So you had hundreds of names already. Which one you are going to choose? And probably the one you feel more comfortable, or none of them. You can choose a different one. Names are just identifications that are not necessary. We here in this physical world, we have a necessity of names to identify ourselves. But you know, nowadays we have first name, last name, a middle name. At the time of Jesus, for instance, there was only first name, right? There was first name, the son of someone else, or normally that's how we identified ourselves at the time of Jesus. That's why a lot of the last names here have son, right, in English, Mikkel's son, and this type of Thompson is the son of someone. Dani.
What about the daughters? Their names, last names were like daughter of, no.
No.
Were they last names? I don't know that.
Oh, of
No,
course.
was the husband, like
Yeah.
Joana de Cusa, because Cusa was her husband.
Yeah.
So she was, the ladies were usually connect to the name of the husband.
Yeah, and again.
Yeah, so, but a baby is not born with a husband.
Yes, so they were the daughter of someone. They were not. They didn't. They had a name, daughter of someone. Again, at that time, they were identified by their parents, by their mother, by the father, by the parents, by their city. Mary of Magdala. Why was Mary Magdala? Magdala is a city. It's not a. So she was identified because she was from Magdala. Depending, we didn't have last names. Most of us. I don't think even in Rome, ancient Rome, we had last names. I'm thinking about the emperors, and you have Julius Caesar, you have Nero. You don't have last names, right? So last name was something. It's something more recent that identified the family. Many times we were identified by, because we lived. You have to remember, we lived in small communities where everybody knew everybody. So the identification was the son or the daughter of someone, or the wife of someone. If you read the Bible, which is very man-oriented, right? You have the son of the wife of Jairus, right? That's how they are identified. They don't even have the name of the woman, right? Many passages of Jesus, you have the wife of someone. You don't have the name of the woman. That's a tradition of a very man-oriented culture that we had through all the times.
506.
Yeah.
Will we recognize our protective spirit when we enter the spirit world? Yes, because you often knew it before you reincarnated.
Yeah, something that I mentioned. It's likely that we know our protective spirit, our guardian angel, often, but not always. This is what's important here, because sometimes there is no available spirit more evolved than us that we know, so we need someone that we don't know that is more evolved than us. The guardian angel is always more evolved than the spirit it protects.
Well, in this case, when you say not necessary, we're gonna meet them, is because,
We're not necessarily knew them.
okay, but even that we cannot necessarily recognize them when we return to the spiritual world, because depends on our state when we return, right?
Also, yes, very big.
Like Andrea Luis could not recognize his mother for
Yeah,
excellent number.
it's not a fact of recognize. He cannot see his
See.
mother. And again, if we are in no conditions or we don't have the understanding of the concept, why they will present to us. So if you don't believe in a guardian angel, if the spirit comes to you and say, I'm a guardian angel, you're going to say, no, I don't believe you. Yeah, so they'll present to us when we are ready to accept the idea and entertain the idea. If we are not, you know, the reincarnation process we can come to another one without ever acknowledging them, and they continue to protect us, but eventually we'll know.
Interesting. That Luis never mentioned anything about his own.
No.
No, yeah.
Nothing at all.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. But he has one, right? We all have.
I think he has lots of mentors there.
Danny,
Every book has a different.
mentors, yes.
Yeah.
Danny.
So since we are talking about this, it's going on online through the spiritists that Pope Francis mentors, or I don't know, guardian angels, I'm not sure, is or was Saint Francis of Assisi and Saint Clare. Have you seen this?
I've seen this, but I didn't see as guardian angel. I see as protective spirits, as sympathetic spirits or spirits protecting him, but not necessarily guardian angels. Couldn't he be the guardian angel? I'm not saying he could not, but I'm saying I didn't see anything about them. No, well, first, you have only one guardian angel, so it could not be St. Francis of Assisi and Clare. It has to be one or the other. Second, I didn't see anything about them being the guardian angel, but being protective spirits, in the sense that we all have, you know, we are studying guardian angel, protective spirits, familiar spirits. There are three different things, right?
So now I'm a little confused. So here in this section is guardian angels.
We are talking about all of them.
Yeah, so it's not a synonym.
No. Sometimes they use protective spirit here as a synonym to guardian angels, but you can have protective spirits that are not your guardian angel. Okay.
Okay. So the way I understood is like the St. Francis of Assisi and St. Clare were like their his mentors, or the ones who were sort of like taking care of his incarnation. I don't know, more or less like Joanna de Angelis to Divaldo, or except that he wasn't a medium, you know. I don't know.
Joanna de Angelis is Divaldo's guardian angel, right?
Okay, so she's not his his protective spirit then.
Again, you can call protective spirit. It's words, right?
Yeah.
Maybe what Elmo said here. Maybe we should call sympathetic spirits. Because I think that you have one guardian angel, but you also may have some protective spirits or sympathetic spirits and familiar spirits, right? Joana de Angelis is the guardian angel of Divaldo. As far as I know, St. Francis of Assisi and St. Clare are protective spirits of the Pope, the discarnated Pope, but not the guardian angel. But I may be wrong. I don't know exactly. But what I know is that cannot be both. Can only be one. The video that is circulating is when Divaldo met the Pope some 7-8 years ago. He saw St. Francis and he saw Clare there with him. But it doesn't need to be the guardian angel. It could be just they could be there to be present at this wonderful meeting between two elevated spirits, right? Okay.
Oh, in this case, like the protective spirits could be like more towards the work he was doing, like inspiring him, inspiring the Pope for the kind of the work he was doing, instead not him as a person. I don't know if I can make myself clear.
Yeah, I understand that. Yes, it could be. Yes, it could be. If you can think, for instance, St. Francis of Assisi, right? Could it be that St. Francis of Assisi start helping him more closely when he became Pope? It's more likely, right? Because when he became Pope and he decided to choose the name Francis, the first, right? He connected more directly with St. Francis of Assisi. It doesn't mean that St. Francis of Assisi was not there before. It could be also. But for sure, for the work he was going to do, he needed the protection of a St. Francis, right? So I believe that St. Francis,
was this sense like helping his work.
Yes, it could be very possible. Yeah, but again, it's all speculation, possibilities. We don't know. We don't have any definitive answer here. Okay. All right, we are done here. 7:59. So let's continue next week. We still have some 15 questions in this chapter. Okay. So what we have this weekend on Sunday, it's the last Sunday of the month, so we have our Q&A session. Please bring your questions. It's an online meeting. On Saturday, we have the lecture, the United States Spiritist Federation lecture is by Ana Moreno from Portland. She's going to talk about survival kit for the planetary transition. Okay, how we can protect ourselves and have tools to deal with the planetary transition. Okay, for the book club, we are going to continue to discuss chapters 5 and read chapter 6 of the book A Light in the Darkness by Joana de Angelis, the Spirit, Divaldo Franco, the Medium. Okay? Carol, can you do our final prayer?
Sure. Thank you very much, John. Thank you, Elmo. Thank you, Philip, for reading for us this evening and everyone who is here participating. Infinite Spirit and Divine Providence, we give thanks to be together again for our studies of the Spirit's Book, Book 2, Chapter 9, regarding guardian angels, protective, familiar, and sympathetic spirits. Guardian angels and protector spirits are directed by God to give us guidance and assistance. They educate us to make us stronger and to help us, our soul, to evolve. They are always available to us, so we should try to be open to receive their help. Thoughts and inspiration are immediate regardless of where we are. Good spirits never harm or abandon anyone. They always want to help and protect us, so we should keep our willpower focused on positive and elevated vibrations. Above all, resist the influences and contamination of low-order spirits. On Earth, we will continue to have mostly unnamed guardian angel, to protect and guide us. Eventually, however, we may evolve enough to continue by ourselves in the spiritual world. At that point, we may be able to recognize or learn the name of our guardian angel or protector spirit. We give thanks to our spiritual benefactors and the good spirits for guiding and inspiring us today. May we receive the love, light, and peace of Christ within us and for our loved ones, our teachers, our directors, the counselors, the mediums, the workers, and all who are participating. We pray for inner peace, and especially now for world peace, and for those who are suffering in the physical and spiritual worlds. We pray for our center, SGNY, and all Spiritist centers throughout the world, that they may grow, prosper, expand, and be protected throughout the day and throughout the night. As we close, we humbly ask for safety and protection as we return to our family, friends, loved ones, and co-workers. May we go forth now and remind ourselves to be beacons of love, of light, of peace, of service, and charity, which is love in action. May peace and love prevail. So be it.